What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Comfy Convos with Tori. Yeah, today we're coming real raw, real uncut. Like, you see what I got on? I got my little snuggie blanket or blanket hoodie, whatever you want to call this, John. Yeah, hair's tied up. edge band on because the lace is lacing, and honestly I don't have the energy to fix it. So today we got the handy dandy iPad. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about grief because this video, okay, let's back it up. In honor of my he's my stepdad. I call him my dad because he raised me. At one point he definitely stepped in and took over that father role for me. So yeah, I call him dad. But he's my stepdad. Today is his the anniversary of the day he passed in 2019. It has been 5 years, and when I tell you it feels like yesterday, OMG. So he always helped others in spite of how he was feeling. He was a very selfless person. Like, I honestly don't think he ever had a selfish bone in his body. So, in spite of how I feel, I'm gonna make this video in hopes that it helps somebody else. Yeah, so in honor of Scott Robinson, welcome. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be like doing anything else in this video as far as like doing my hair or my nails, or like it's so much that I actually need to do for self-care and want to do, but right now I'm just not in the mood, and I realize I need to give myself grace. Like, I'm definitely a person, I try to like do. It's like masking how I feel in a sense. So it's like my mind is not on whatever it is I'm actually upset about. I need to cut it because it catches up one way or another. So right now I'm allowing myself to feel, and in the midst of that feeling, we're gonna drink. We're keeping it light though, with just some sweet red wine. Yes, Sutter Home, you might need to sponsor me. As much as I pay, you know how many bottles I go through? This is day 2. We're not gonna talk about it. No, but anyway, cheers. Get your snacks, get your wine, get your blunt, whatever, you know. Tune in. Ready, twin? Let's go. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about is the 5 stages of grief. We have denial, we have anger, we have bargaining, we have depression, and acceptance. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at the iPad, and always ignore my TV because it's always going to be on. And yeah, ignore my little messy bed. Ew. Anyway, so step 1 is denial. It's a temporary response to loss that can make it difficult to comprehend reality. So I know, like, I'm gonna go, y'all should know by now, because you're getting, okay, my fault. Back it all the way up. Today is September 16th. You guys probably won't be getting this video until a week from now. So you'll probably get it next Monday or next Tuesday. So this will be a little late, in a sense, but yeah, just throwing that out there. Also with like my previous 3 videos, I give you guys my wisdom, my knowledge, maybe even some research or things I've gotten from other people, along with my personal experience. So like I was saying, with both like major losses in my life, my grandma and my dad. So my dad was 2019 today, September 16th, and then my grandma was December 7th, 2022. So with both of those, I experienced the same things, just kind of a little differently, if that makes sense. Like, and also grief is not linear. Like, just because you have the 5 stages and it's supposed to go in that order, it literally goes everywhere. Like, you can be experiencing denial, and then out of nowhere it's acceptance, then you go to anger, then it's like it literally it doesn't have, like, just like life has no rules, grief has no rules. Your feelings have no rules. You give yourself rules, you give your feelings rules, you give your life rules. So yeah, keep that in mind when you guys are going through something in life, in death, like, no matter what, because we are in control of our lives. If we say, oh, I'm gonna give myself a 3 months to get over this, babe, if you need more time, it's okay. Take the time you need. Like, and that's something I had to learn myself as well. So yeah, getting back into it. For denial, I know for my dad, it was very much very fast. Like, it was same day. It was just so crazy. So one random day, because it's story time now. One random day, I was getting out of school. Usually that time I was in hair school, so I would go to school, and then right from school I would go to work. For whatever reason, and sometimes also, like, I would stop by my grandma's house, just because it's not even in the middle of each other. I would just go, like, let's say I got out of school early, like earlier than usual. I would just go there, kill time, say hi to my peoples, spend some time with her, and then go to work. Or I would just go to work. And for that entire week, I was getting out of school early and just going to work. And this day, I don't know what it was, but he was on my mind all day. Like, all day. And I was like, you know how somebody's on your mind and you're thinking about them, and you're like, oh, I want to reach out to them, like, I gotta make sure I say da-da-da, I'm gonna make sure I call them, but you're so busy that you kind of just, like, forget, in a sense. Like, not even in a sense, you do, like, you just genuinely forget. You're just moving and shaking and doing what you're doing in the moment, that by the time you sit down, you're not thinking about that until you're up and moving again. That's me. So that's what had happened. So I was just like, oh, okay. So I just went to my grandma's house. Why? I don't know. Like, I literally was just like, I was on the way to work, and I just was like, I want to go see my grandma. So I went over there, and I don't know. I think she has mentioned something, or, oh, she was like, she's like, you going to the hospital? And I'm like, why am I going to the hospital? And she was like, oh, your mom just took Scott. That's his name. Your mom just took Scott. And I'm like, huh? And, like, mind you, like, my dad was going through things prior. Like, he was a stroke survivor. He survived after, like, he had a stroke 6 years prior to him going to the hospital, prior to this day. This is what I'm trying to say. So he was already going through, like, health issues, but, like, this just felt different. Like, it just felt very different. So I called my mom, and I'm like, hey, like, I heard that you guys were at the hospital. And also that my mom, and I keep stopping, I'm sorry, I should have gave you guys backstory. So let's pause and give you some backstory so I can stop going back and forth and probably confusing the crap out of y'all. So they got together. I don't know exact year, but I would believe I was like 13. I was like 12, 13, something like that. And when they got together, it was fine. Like, he was cool, but also, like, I am a person, you gotta take time to know. Like, I'm not just gonna immediately just, yeah, here you go, let's go. Like, no, he definitely earned his title. So yeah, like, we got acclimated. He moved in, because first, like, we just knew him as, like, a boyfriend, and, like, we met him at my mom's. She had, like, a big birthday party, I believe when she turned 30. So we met him, and then 1 second. Yeah, I was getting a little hot, and I wasn't trying to take this off, to be honest. Like, I'm very comfy. The heat, I mean, the air is just gonna have to adjust. So hopefully, like, it's not too loud. It is pretty quiet, but anyway. Yeah, we met him at my mom's birthday party, I believe when she turned 30. So then after that, like, he would just come around. Like, it would be, like, not spontaneous. Like, obviously they planned it, but, like, we don't know what they planned. So to us, it would be like, oh, one day he coming over, the next day he not there. Like, like, they just going about their lives, just getting acclimated with each other for real. So then he ended up moving in. he proposed to her. Then they found out that my mom was pregnant, and she didn't tell us. I found out because I read her hospital notes, because why would you go to the hospital and not tell me? I'm wondering where you at, and if something wrong with you. I'm wondering where you at. I found out you at the hospital. Now I'm wondering if something wrong with you. Like, and then you come back and you still not gonna say nothing? Oh, okay, you don't have to. I'm gonna find out for myself. So that's what I did. And I read her hospital papers, and then I got all my siblings, and we all had a family meeting, because he had two sons. One was younger than me, one was older than me. So I was the oldest and then went to the middle child, which was love. I was the oldest girl, but like, I love not being the oldest. Anyway, yeah, I called everybody down. Like, we was at the house by ourselves. I called everybody down. Yeah, family meeting. I read her hospital. It sounds so crazy, but I read her hospital. I would like to note that I am fully aware that this is definitely HIPAA. I definitely violated her rights and her privacy and her personal health information. Now that I am older and actually in the healthcare field, also in DDD field, I get it. I understand. Let's not do too much. I was only like 12 or 13, like 14 max. My young brain was just trying to see if my mama was okay and get the tea, because why would you not tell us and just leave us in the dark? Now we all know, and she also knows I did this, so yeah. Summary, like, I read all her hospital papers to my siblings, and we all found, well, we didn't find out together because I knew first, but like, yeah, I let them know, because not you trying to hide and keep secrets and stuff. We don't do that. We was a very open family. Like, we talk about literally anything. Like, and at that point, well, now it's literally anything. At that point, it was like a cap on certain things you could say and certain things you couldn't say, certain things we could talk about, certain things we couldn't talk about. But we would have family meetings all the time. Why we ain't have a family meeting about this? No, now we're going to. Yeah. But anyway, so that's how we found out about my little brother. Fast forward, we moved to a bigger house. They ended up getting married. Years, I hate that I say so freaking much, but I just be trying to get my thoughts together. And y'all see these like gnats every video. They might as well be the freaking co-hosts. Anyway, bitch, y'all seeing all of my emotions. I entertain myself. Yeah, I entertain myself. Anyway, let's be serious, and let's get to the point of the freaking video. Okay. So they ended up getting married. Years went by, you know, cool, copacetic, whatever. They ended up getting a divorce, separating 2016. Yeah, mid-year 2016. And the way it happened was just very crazy. Like, it was already just very spontaneous, but like to us, because we didn't know. Like, yeah, we heard like the arguments, like we heard like, obviously, like, we could see that they're not really happy, but we did not expect like for them to separate. Like, that was just like, wow. And then also, it was not, I'm not gonna tell like my mama business, because it really doesn't have nothing to do with me. It's not my business to tell. I'm just saying how it happened, you know. So yeah, spontaneous. And then it was a situation that happened that made it even crazier. Like, it was just like, what the heck? And it was on his end. So, and it wasn't like cheating or anything like that, but it was just like, okay. So I felt the way because I felt like it was no conversation. Like, I'm very much a transition person, and I'm very much a conversation person. Like, if something's gonna change, you need to let me know. Otherwise, it's not happening. I say no. I don't agree. I don't condone that. I don't accept it. Absolutely not. And then also, like, I'm a person, like, you need to sit down and be like, hey, like, you see what's going on. You see that we're not happy. This is what's about to happen. We have, like, again, we have family meetings about literally everything. We have family meetings because of to do a chore chart. But y'all can't tell us that y'all are going to separate, or y'all aren't happy, or this is what you're thinking about. Like, that affects everybody. And like, now, I had the chance to have a conversation with my mom about it. And like now, like she understands where we were coming from, and like she's very, like, again, our relationship is very much different than it was then. But with him, I never got to have the conversation. It genuinely sucks. So yeah, we ended up moving, separating, cool. He was still in our lives, but like, again, I was mad. I'm a teenager. I don't have communication skills. Like, I'm not saying, okay, yeah, let's come sit down and talk about what happened or talk about how I feel. I didn't talk about how I feel. I didn't grow up being able to talk about how I feel. With him, yes, like that was literally my best friend. Like, he knew every single thing about me. Anything that happened, like, he knew. Like, it was, and my mom, I didn't tell my mom nothing. I was going to him, like, so it was just like, yeah, like, I just felt betrayed. Like, that was like the ultimate betrayal. Like, you abandoned, like, you literally left me, bro. Like, you didn't say nothing to me, nothing. So I was just like, bro, like, nah, F you. Like, I'm cool. So he would come around, like, still try to, like, he would still take us out, still, like, do things with us. And I just didn't rock with it. Like, no. And in my head, like, I can really be an a-hole. And I was like, it was very much so like, you're not my dad, you're his dad, take care of him, don't worry about me. And that's genuinely how I felt. Like, but also, and this situation taught me to never take anyone for granted, because we don't know how much time we have with that person. We don't know when God is going to call them. We don't know anything. Like, people literally walk out of their house in the morning and do not come home. Like, they end up in a grave, or they end up on a shirt. Like, things really happen that we don't know. Like, I just feel like, don't ever take anyone for granted. If you're holding a grudge against somebody, bro, it's not worth it. It's not worth it whatsoever. Like, and this situation definitely taught me that. And so that's the backstory. Now we can get back to what I'm talking about and hopefully stay on track. Goodness. I just never had the conversation with him. I never, he apologized. And we were working on building, but like, we never had that like conversation of what happened and why it happened and how I felt. Like, it was kind of just like in a sense, a brush over. And that's also when I realized, like, I'm not a brush over person. Like, I'm still holding grudges because of the situation. Like, you know, because we didn't talk about it, because I didn't get to understand it. Like, I understand it from how I felt. I don't understand it from how you felt and how it happened for you. And yeah, I need that. Very much so. So because they were married before, and my stepdad had like the health issues or whatever, he actually had the stroke prior to them getting married. So my mom knew what she was walking into, and yeah, she decided to he made her a what is that called? He made her I'm thinking power of attorney. I don't think that's correct. He made her the person, okay, because they were married and like he had his health issues prior to them getting married. Once they got divorced, she was still like the person that oversaw all of his medical issues. I don't know the direct name for it, and I really should have looked that up, but I didn't think about that. If you know what I'm talking about, comment down below, because I'm struggling. I don't know what it's called. Like, she was in charge of saying if he was to live or die, if he wasn't able to advocate for himself at any point, she was that person that they would contact to advocate for him. Like, yeah, emergency contact, very much so, but like above that, like, she literally like had a say over his life and his death, which yeah, we had to deal with. So yeah, I'm thinking power of attorney. That I do not believe that is the correct term for that. But anyway, we're gonna move on. So because like that was it, he had went to her when he wasn't feeling well, and I think he just wanted somebody there to go with him. I feel like he also had like a feeling that like things wasn't right. so, because any other time he would go to his doctor's appointments by himself. If he wasn't feeling well prior to this, and he went to the hospital by himself. So it's like, why did you need her to go? So yeah, mom was like, oh, we're fine. Like, he had a cold. Like, it felt like he had a cold, like the flu or something, you know? So I'm like, all right. She was like, yeah, just continue on with your day, whatever. Cool. I go to work. I'm at work, and like, I don't know what it was. It was like, I couldn't let it go. Like, I just couldn't, my mind just kept like, he's in a hospital. It just didn't feel right. Like, it just felt off. Like, something just felt very wrong. So I'm like, all right. Like, I talked to the manager, because I was a manager, so it was like I had to be there. So I talked to the manager that was there, and I'm like, do you think you could like cover my shift? Because like, yeah, I'm here, I clocked in, all of that, but like, my dad's in the hospital, and I just like, it's not sitting right with me. Like, and this is like 30 minutes into my shift. Like, it's just not sitting, because we had like overlapping shifts. So she would be there like for an extra like hour or two, and then I would be by myself, like doing everything. But once I'm in there, it's like my shift, and then she's just finishing up hers, doing her last minute things, counting her people out, all of that, and then my people come in. Like, if you know, you know. Yeah, like, I was just like, it just didn't feel right. Like, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but like, you just get that feeling, and it's just like, no, like, something's wrong. So I just kept feeling that way, and I was just like, yeah. And I asked her, and she was like, first she was like, oh, I have this to do, I have that to do, like, I don't really think I can. So I'm like, okay, like, that's fine. Like, because it was like, yeah, I feel away, but it was just like, I'm inconveniencing you as well. And it's like, if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. I did still come in. So like, I've been feeling this way. If that was the case, I could have just called out, and then the other manager, like the head manager, would have had to, like the store manager, she would have had to figure it out. But it's like, I still came in, so it's like, yeah, I could leave, but like, it's okay. Like, I also wasn't, I don't know, because it wasn't like a confirmed feeling to be like, yeah, I need to leave right now. Like, it was just like, that's how I'm feeling. So if you can, cool. If you can't, cool. Like, it didn't make no difference for her. So then, like, she came back. I'm like, I'm counting my drawers and like getting everything together for the night, because I closed. So she was like, she came back like 30 minutes later, and she's like, no, I think you should go. And I'm like, huh? Because I'm like, well, because I done forgot. I'm not going to hold. Like, I started doing other stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, your dad, like, I really think you should go. And like, she's like kind of frantic. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, somebody called or something? Like, because mind you, the phone did ring like prior to, like, when I asked her, the phone rang, she picked it up, and she answered it and like walked off, and like, you know, so I just started doing my own thing. So I'm like, did somebody, who was on the phone? Like, did somebody call you or something? Like, they call here for me? Like, I'm like, because where did this come from? And she was just like, no, like, I just, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I was just thinking about it, and I, like, she had went through a similar situation. I don't know if she said with her dad or her granddad or her, it wasn't her mom. Like, it wasn't a female. It was another male in her family that she went through a similar situation with. Like, she thought everything was okay, and then, or like, it will be okay, and then it wasn't, and she wasn't able to be there to like to say goodbye or whatever. So I'm like, and like, she's telling me all of this, and I'm like, well, what are you trying to say? Like, are you trying to say like he's gonna leave? Like, what are you saying? Because like, I'm not understanding. I'm a very literal person. If you telling me your story, girl, I'm gonna think that that's about to happen. Like, what are you telling me this for? What news did you get that I didn't get? Like, who called here and told you what? Like, what are we talking about? It's like you speaking in riddles, but you trying to tell me something. Like, you trying to tell me the truth about like something that somebody just told you. So I'm just like, what is you talking about, ma'am? Spit it out. So I'm getting a little irritated with her, and she was just like, no, nobody said anything, nobody called here. What I'm trying to tell you. Basically, she was just trying to like express to me the importance of being there for your people, because you never know. It's really what she was trying to say, but my cuckoo brain was not picking that up. So she was just like, yeah, girl, like, pack your stuff, it's okay, you can go, like, clock out and like go handle your handle, like, be with your family. Even if it is just like a cold, at least you were there. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. So I call my mom back, and she's like, yeah, we still didn't even get seen yet, whatever. So I'm like, all right, I'm on my way. And she was just like, it's not necessary, I'm on my way. So, and my mom already know. Once I said, girl, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. So she was just like, she was like, okay, like, that's fine, whatever. And, like, told me the exact hospital they was at. And even though I already knew, but, you know. And then, cool. So I get there and we're cool. Like, we're chopping it up. Like, everybody in there laughing. My aunt ended up coming. I don't know if she also had, like, that inclination or if, my mom called her. Like, I don't know. I got there and then she got there right after me. So we was just all in there chopping it up. Cool. I don't think it was any. I think it was just us. I believe. Girl. I don't know if girls watch this, but listen, man. The doctor came in because now we're in the room. We're like, you know, they took their tests, all of that, doing all of that, you know, asking him how he feel, taking their assessments, and then now we're waiting for the doctor. Again, chopping it up, having a grand old freaking time. Like, out of nowhere, he can just get serious and he's just like, I'm so sorry for like how everything ended. Like, I know like I could have handled it better, this, that, the third. And we actually had like, it wasn't the conversation I wanted to have, like that one-on-one conversation, but it was like a, okay, I could understand, and not even understand, because he didn't go into depth about anything. He was just like, I could have handled it better, basically just apologizing. So we're like, okay, cool, like this I can take. So I'm just like, all right, like I'm fine. He was just like, I want you to like stop being mad at me, talking to me, like I want you to stop being mad at me, this, that, the third. Okay, like at that point I don't care anymore. Not I don't care, but like we're good, bro. You apologize multiple times. I'm actually hearing your apology now. Okay, like we can have that conversation later. So yeah, I thought anyway. So doctor comes in and they said he has kidney failure, or yeah, and they didn't know like what he could they didn't know like, you know, how long he had. So now we're just like, what the fuck? Like, sorry, I didn't mean to cuss, but now we're just like, what the heck? Like, what? Like, and the whole energy just dropped. And I didn't understand the severity of it because like I was young. I think I was 21. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do no CNA, no nursing, no nothing. I don't know nothing about this. I know it's bad, but like I'm not thinking it's as bad as it actually was. So, or could be. So I'm just like, okay, like I'm like, well, what does he need to do to, you know, get better? Like, and they're like, oh, like treatment and dialysis and this and that. I'm like, I don't know what, like, again, I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. And you know, them doctors like to speak in them lengthy terms, and please speak in plain English. I want the King James version. Okay, not the actual Bible, ma'am. Like, break it down into layman's terms, because I don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm still not understanding. So I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna leave it alone because you're not really explaining it to me, and I don't know what you're talking about. So, when they leave, my mom's like, so she pulls me out and she's just like, you need to call your siblings, you need to call your grandma, like let everybody know what's going on, da 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 da. So I'm like, okay, this is obviously very serious. So I'm asking her like, well, what does this mean? And she was just like, it means if he doesn't get the treatment and or if the treatment doesn't work, he's gonna die. And I'm just like, we just got good. Like, what are you talking about? It's not funny, but like, what are you talking about? Like, huh? So yeah, I call everybody, and now that like I'm calling people, it's like becoming real. Absolutely not. I don't condone this. Denial. No, this is not happening. Like, I was married at the time. I called my husband. Bro, this is what's going on, da 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 da. Like, I'm running it down, I'm crying. Like, I was having a whole breakdown because it's like, bro, we just got good, now you about to leave? Like, and not even leave, like I can't call you, I can't talk to you, I can't hug you, I can't hear you laugh. Like, I can't do anything. And then there's also nothing I can do to help you, bro. Like, you going, like, you're leaving the same plane that I'm on, And there's nothing I can do. I can't talk you out of it. Like, I can't do anything. It's not like you just leave another state. It's not like you just go into another country. No. You're going to another realm. Like, you're going to heaven or hell. Like, I can't, there's no phone there. I can't ring, hello. I can't, like, bro, what? And I'm just like, bro, like, what am I going to do? Like, at that point, like, low-key, he was really walking me through life. Like, tell me about, like, marriage, all of that. So it's like, huh? So, yeah. I did not believe it. It wasn't. And it's like, I literally, they started setting up, like, the tubes, all of that. He's sick, he's gonna get better. That was literally, like, my mindset. So, that night happened. We leave, right? Cool. The next day, we go back up there. Let me think about this. Excuse me. I believe. Yeah. So the next day, we're supposed to go back up there. Obviously, my mom, like, I don't think she went home, to be honest, but I went home. At that time, I lived like 45 minutes away from the hospital, from where my mom and them lived. Like, I wasn't as close as I normally am. Also, me and my husband were going through something of our own, like, you know, our own little situation. So I would say talking. We weren't talking. We was arguing about whatever it is we were going through. And I don't really remember what exactly we were going through. It was so freaking small. Like, and I was supposed to meet, like, my family at the hospital at a certain time. Let's say I was supposed to meet them at 12. I didn't end up getting there because of this freaking argument until like 3, 4, like, it was like a couple hours later. So by the time I got there, he was non-responsive. From the story I was told, everybody went in there, they was talking to him, my grandma got to talk to him, he was asking for me, which really broke my freaking heart. And he started seizing. Went into like a series of seizures. By the time I got there, they were taking him for surgery. Got out of the surgery, came back. I believe he started seizing again. I'm not completely sure, but when I went in to see him, we all went in because he had like all the kids, my mom, my grandma, all of us was there, and he was unresponsive. Like, he just, yeah. They had his dialysis running. They had, you know, all the tubes and gadgets and all of that connected to him. And then he literally just started, we're talking. His face is like lighting up, or like his like body would like move when we say certain things. So we could tell like he's listening, like he's hearing us, but like he can't communicate with us like verbally. Can't open his eyes, couldn't hold them open. So they were telling us, I think I have this timeline correct. They were telling us to say our goodbyes, or no, at this point he was on life support. So they were saying what we wanted to do, about like, you know, how we wanted to move forward. And because of that, they were saying like it's better for us to say our goodbyes, or like say like any last words while he's still, you know, cognitive, at least a little bit, he can still hear us. So we're talking. I get to my turn, everybody else done had their turn. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, and I'm like holding his hand. Okay, so here I was trying to say that we all were saying our goodbyes. I get to my turn, I'm holding his hand, I'm telling him like thank you for being there for me, for always having my back, always just really being a ride or die, to be honest, like always putting everyone else before you, and Just that I wish I had more time. I wish we were able to like mend things earlier, things like that. But I'm also like very timid, very nervous. I have never been in a situation like this at this time, so it just wasn't like easy to really say what I was trying to say. And like, you know, I was choking up. It was hard. Like, I couldn't get all my thoughts out. So it's taking me a little long. In the midst of me trying to get my words out, he starts going into cardiac arrest. And, like, the nurses are, like, pushing us out and, like, you know, trying to tend to him and revive him. Okay, and mind you, this is my first time ever. I've seen a lot of things. This is my first time ever watching life leave a body, like, in real time. So I'm just like, so look at my mom. Ma'am, what is we supposed to do? It's not, I keep laughing. I'm so sorry. That's just, that's how I cope, I guess. That's my coping mechanism. That's my defense mechanism to everything. For real. I laugh before everything. Like, if I'm gonna cry, I laugh. If I'm mad, I laugh. Like, it's just what I do. So, yeah, I'm looking at my mom like, what are we supposed to do? So then all the nurses and stuff rushing here, they're asking us, like, escorting us out. They ain't asking nothing. They escorting us out so they can have, like, the room, have the space, whatever. That goes on for a long time. And then, it's just, like, they would get him back, and then he would go again. They would get him back, and he would go again. And once you lose oxygen for too long in your brain, obviously you become brain dead, a vegetable, as they call it. And that's what happened. So now they're saying, like, okay, you need to, like, he keeps arresting. You need to decide if you want to continue, you want us to continue to bring him back, or if you want to just leave him alone. Because clearly, like, from what they're saying, he wants to go. He's ready. His body can't take it anymore. It's just shutting down. And we're trying to, like, we're keep bringing him back. Each time we bring him back, he loses more brain cells. So, from lack of oxygen in his brain. So we're just like, all right, my mom's asking me, what do you think I should do? Da 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 da. And it's like, me and my mom, like, grew up together. My mom had me at 18. I literally, like, life, we've learned life together. So I could see, like, especially I'm the only one there at this time. So I was just like, okay, we got to start calling, I'm lying. Everybody had went earlier, like family, everybody who wanted to see him, say their goodbyes, or, like, you know, like, be there just in case that happened. So at this point, everybody has left, and it's literally just me and my mom. She's asking me about everything and, like, what I think, like, we should do. And I, like, at first, I just start crying. I literally just bust out in tears because I started laughing. I said, you asking me? And I started laughing out of nowhere. I literally just bust into tears because, ma'am, I have to make this decision. Like, I have to help you. And she was just like, I know it's hard. Like, I don't have anybody to ask. And I'm just like, I mean, you're right. Like, all right. So, with that, like, we were just going back and forth, like, ideas. Like, okay, if we do this, then this, like, we'll have to do this. Or if we do this, then this person's going to feel this way. Or what about this? Or I do just want to clarify, at this point, he was stable and still on life support. The way the night was going, the way the day was going, he was just declining very rapidly, and they didn't see him being successful on life support or getting better. But ultimately, it was our decision, and because he kept arresting prior and they were sure it was going to happen again, they just wanted our decision with all of the facts in place. So that is what me and my mom are discussing and trying to come up with a decision for. I just want to clarify that. Don't think we was taking our time making a decision and this man is going through it. Absolutely not. Like, you know, like, just thinking through every possible scenario, even if, like, we keep him alive and, like, you know, and take him home and have to find somebody to take care of him or put him in a home, or, like, you know, we're just going through each scenario, vice versa. Like, whether we do one option A or option B, what comes with each one. And I don't know, randomly, I thought back to a conversation we had, and it was just like, he didn't want that. And he told us, like, when he had the stroke, he literally told us, like, I don't want to be a vegetable. Like, he loved, I hate saying vegetable, but, like, he loved being able to take care of himself. He loved being able to provide for himself, to provide for his loved ones, provide for his family, be there for people. He loved being that light in other people's lives. And in that state, whether like in a brain dead kind of situation, or you know, like you can't do that. You're fully dependent on everybody else, and that's not the life he wanted to live. And I don't know if he ever had that conversation with my mom, or if that's something like she just wasn't thinking about in the moment, or didn't like, you know, it didn't like come up in her mind. But I shared that with her, and she was just like, she started crying now. So now I'm crying again. And it was just like, she was just like, you're right. Like, you're right. I know what we have to do. So we called his family. So we called his family, and we called that's a whole other situation that I'm not going to get into. I really don't care to get into. It just and that's my opinion. That's how I feel. Not too much. Stay where you're at. Thanks. Yeah, so we call his family, and then we call like the older siblings. So the brother, I said, it was older than me, and then the one under me, we called them. We didn't really call the other ones because they were super young. We called my grandma to let her know like what was happening, because she was the one watching them. And she was like, oh, do you want us to go up there, whatever. My mom was just like, no, like that's just gonna be too much. Like, it's okay, whatever. Like, just make sure that they're okay. What are they doing? Are they okay? You know, just checking in. So we let the nurses know our decision. Once everybody got there, then we said our final words, said goodbye, and then literally as soon as they pulled the plug, like not probably 5-10 minutes, he was gone. And that was very hard, like very freaking hard. And I feel like because of how it happened, I wasn't ready to accept that. Like, I wasn't ready to just let that go, let him go, let the relationship go, let what could have been the relationship go. Like, I very much held on to that for the longest. I went from anger to denial to bargaining. Like, why? Like, why did this happen? Like, why did he need to go? And of all people in the motherfucking world, you chose this man. Why? Bring him back immediately. Like, no, I didn't like it. I was not happy whatsoever. What did you do that for? Yeah, and then we had to go home and tell the younger kids, and it was just like, it was too much. Like, and it was to the point where I felt like I had to be the strong one. Like, my mom couldn't break down because, I don't know, anytime she broke down, we broke down, and then anytime I broke down, they broke down. So it was just like, all right, like, I feel like me and my mom both had like kind of similar ideas in our head. Like, all right, we can't keep crying about this. Like, understood that, like, yeah, you feel how you feel. Like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. But like, me and, like, I don't know, my mom definitely is, or was, because she did grow from this, was a person like, there's no feelings. You have stuff to do. Get up. You can deal with the feelings later. And because she had that, I adopted that. And I'm working on that myself as well. But sometimes, for sure, like, it definitely get like that. Like, yeah, you can feel how you feel. Let it out. I give myself 30 minutes. Let it out. Girl, you want to cry? You want to scream? You want to yell? You want to punch stuff? Do what you got to do. Get it out. Because once this 30 minutes is up, pack it up. Continue to do what you got to do. Like, so, yeah, and like, we had to plan a funeral. We had to literally do everything. And it's like, this is my mom's first time doing it by herself, so, or doing it, period. So she's asking me, leaning on me. I'm trying to figure things out and help her with it. My aunt was helping us. Like, certain people in the family was helping us. We had the pastor helping us. I want to say somebody else was going through a similar situation and was helping us, but I don't know if I'm confusing this situation with my grandma's situation. Yeah, but people were helping us. We did most of it on our own. And yeah, like, we just weren't really able to go through our feelings. Because of that, acceptance took a very long time. When I say an insane to me amount of time, like it took me like years, like literally just 2 years ago. Like the year my grandma passed was the year I was finally like, okay, this happened. And that was 2022. Like beginning that year, 2021, 2022, that was around the same time my marriage ended. And I was just like, dang, like if I had my dad, like this would be so much, not even easier, but it would be like more helpful. Yeah, I had my mom, but like, you know, from a guy's perspective, like, and I was just going through it. But I finally got to the point where I was like, this happened. Like I truly don't have him anymore. And I was able to mourn. I was able to not get over it, because I still don't think I'm over it. But I was able to accept it enough to move on with life. Like I was able to see a life after that death for me. Obviously, I don't know who else it would be for, but anyway. So the first step, they have denial. You don't think like, so the example that they gave was like somebody who just lost their job, you still get up and get ready for work because like that's just your natural, that's what you're used to. So it's the same thing. Like I'm used to being around this person. I'm used to seeing this person every day or talking to them every day, you know? And it's like I can't do that anymore. And that was very big with my grandma. Like, oh my goodness, hers was a little longer. Hers took months, but OMG, like when I tell you, it was not real until her birthday. Like I said, she passed December 7th, 2022. Her birthday is January 6th. So it was like double whammy. and it's still like that. Last year, still like that. Like, yeah, so it wasn't until her birthday where I literally called her. I called her phone. Happy birthday, da da da. Because I'm like, why is nobody answering? It went to voicemail. Happy birthday, whatever, da da da. Mid message, I was like, and I just hung up because she's never gonna get that message. She will never, like, and granted, like I do believe like they're both still with me. I do believe they both went to heaven. And I do have certain things that show me like they're still around, like they're still looking over me and like protecting me. So I know like she got the message. Even I had a dream about her on my birthday, because she will always call and like same thing I did to her, call, scream happy birthday, like sing happy birthday to me, all of that, like literally sing it. So I was so upset. Like I literally cried like 2 days prior to my birthday and on my birthday. I cried 2 days prior because I'm not gonna get a message from her. Like I'm not gonna hear happy birthday. And then, but on my birthday I had the dream and she literally sung me happy birthday in my dream, and I woke up hearing her voice. Like that made my day. That made my birthday. Like but yeah, like you're so used to being around that person, you're used to having that person in your life, especially if they're super close to you, and you don't think that it's real. Like it doesn't register that like this really happened. Anger is a natural response to loss that can be directed at many sources. So I know with both instances, I was up any and everybody neck. Like I was so mad at the world. It didn't matter who you were, what you were. I genuinely didn't care. Everybody was getting cussed out. Everybody was getting hit on. Like when I tell you I was on go 24/7. Like what do you want to do? I was like, yo, when I tell, especially after my dad, like I didn't have the emotional intelligence and regulation that I had when my grandma passed. Because my grandma, I bit my tongue. I held my hands to myself. Although I was on go, for sure. For sure. If you wanted beef, you could have had it. At any given time, any given moment, it didn't matter. But I wasn't just like, I wasn't acting on it as much as I did when my dad died. Like you could ask anybody. was a menace. I genuinely, I did not care. Like, I didn't care. I just didn't care. Let's just leave it at that. I genuinely didn't care. Now with my grandma, like, I definitely like went to, it was like anger and depression kind of joined forces on my ass. Yeah. It was like, I was very depressed. I quit my job, which I still regret to this day. I moved out of my house. I went to a different house, which, why did I leave the job if I was moving? Make it make sense. And then I was just I was so angry. It was like, I don't know how to like, I was so angry and sad. It was like anything could happen. Like, I genuinely don't care what happens to me. Babe, take me out. I'm ready to go. What am I here for? Two of the closest people, like, obviously, like I said, me and my mom have gotten very much closer. But at that time, in my head, both of my best friends are gone. What am I here for? If I couldn't go to him, I would go to my grandma. Both of them knew every single thing about me. My grandma, that lady knew me front, back, sideways, inside out. Like, she knew every single thing about me. Anything I went through, I was going to her. Anything that happened, I was going to her. Like, and we would laugh about it. We would cry about it. Like, when I tell you, that was my mom. Like, and at a certain point, when me and my mom wasn't cool or was butting heads or I got kicked out, I was right to her. Like, that's why it's like she was very much that person for me. So what am I here for? I can go. I have no purpose. I have no life. What's that? I have no life without you. That's genuinely how I felt. That's from a movie. But that's genuinely how I felt. So it was just like, yeah, I was dealing with both of them at the same time. Twin. It was nuts. The next process they have is bargaining, a process that can happen before or after a loss. The example they have is somebody might think, if I recover from cancer, I'll start going to church every week. Literally, my grandma did die from cancer. So her whole process, I was just like, bro, I will do whatever you want me to. Whatever. You want me to go on a pole? I got you. You want me to sell some pom pom? I got you. Like, obviously God not gonna tell me to do that, but I'm just saying, like, that's extreme. That's anything. Some people do it. That's the last thing I would ever think to do. I say, oh, I'm gonna be a stripper, da da da. If anything goes wrong, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want you touching me like that. I don't know you, sir. Your bag not even big enough to be touching me. But anyway, yes, very extreme. So like, you'll go, like, I know when my dad passed, it was genuinely like, bro, bring him back, like, immediately. Like, bring him back. I will go to church every Sunday. At that point I wasn't. So it's like, I will go to church every Sunday. I will follow you wherever you go. Like, I will be better than your disciples. Like, when I tell you, I was genuinely just trying to get him back. Like, on my grandma, I was in church every Sunday. I was, like, following God very heavily. So it kind of pushed me the other way. It was kind of just like, bro, like, for what? Like, I was mad at God. Like, and that's real. I'm not the only one that has happened to. Like, people have told me stories and I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, it really get like that. Like, because we think God has not even think. God does have a plan for everything. God does have a plan for everyone's life. And God does move very intentionally. Everything is with a purpose. Even when people leave, even when people get sick, like, that was not how God intended it to. But he will, like, just to bring you closer to God, to bring you closer to your purpose. If you're idolizing something, God will take that away and remove it from your life so you can focus on him. That's very much a thing. Now, do I think that he kills people to do that? No, I don't think so. I'm not that like deep in my faith to understand that part yet. That's still a question I have, still a question I ask sometimes, to be honest. Like, once I go through that, my little emotion, not little, because they big emotions, but once I go through my emotions and like I'm in that stage, like, yeah, why? Like, I ask that very often. Why? Because for what? Like, I don't know. Anyway, because I'm not over it. But yeah, it was genuinely like, I was just upset. Like, I was just genuinely mad at him because yeah, I just didn't understand it. I still don't understand it. But that's another form of grief. Like, and I believe it goes with bargaining and anger, because like sometimes like you really curse God. Like, some people have really like, I will never da 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 da, and I did that with my dad. Like, I would never, because like I'm telling you I'm gonna do whatever and you still let him go. So you just said F me. Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna show you it's big F you. Like, that's never the right way to go. But that's how I went. I didn't go to church. I stopped singing. Like, I used to be in a choir, all of that. Yeah, no. And then COVID made it even harder to do so. Like, it was like it wasn't a choice anymore. So it was just like, okay. So yeah, like, me getting back into the church and me getting back close with God was a very hard thing to do. Like, we had to build that relationship again, and he made it easy, for sure. And with my grandma, he definitely gave a lot of comfort, like a lot of comfort, and that wasn't something I asked for. So I do believe God, he definitely walks with us in our hardest moments. And I could see how he was there for me with my grandma. That's because we said church, and it reminded me of yeah. That's where it came from. I don't know if y'all was wondering or not. That's where it came from. Next up they have is depression. It's a normal response to loss that can feel like it will last forever. It's important to note that depression is not a sign of mental illness. A lot of people do deal with mental illness separately, and then they'll go through a loss, and that kind of amplifies it because it's like you're getting double. I do believe that is a separate thing, only because I feel like you have more control over it. So, to tell you my business, I suffer from or do I suffer? I battle. Not even. I was diagnosed with chronic depression, but mine is high functioning. So it's like I can go on with my life. You won't know that I'm having an episode. You won't know that I'm like going through it mentally unless you know me. Like, I can tell when my environment is very messy. Like, I can tell when I'm not keeping up with myself. Like, my I don't have lashes. Like, my skin looks a mess. I'm breaking out everywhere. My hair not done. My nails not done. And not right now, because right now I already told you. I don't know if I told you the situation about my nail tech. I don't think I released that video. I don't think I'm going to. But yeah, we're not even gonna talk about it because I'll be getting too off track. I'm in between nail techs, so that's why the nails is not done. She gave me some press-ons, and I don't know how to do them, and I'm scared that they're not gonna look right, so I ain't doing them yet. That's it. Everything else is done. The hair, I went to the gym, so that's why the hair look like this. I ain't do it yet. Anyway, I just want to clarify, some things I was saying, I'm looking like, oh, that's still not done now. But if you know me, to know me is to know I'm a very put together person, or try to be a put together person, especially with my appearance, especially like how I look, how I smell. That's very important to me. So if I'm just out here maneuvering, I look like I don't care about life whatsoever, and it's not like a grind time, like I'm not just going from one job to the next and and you see it consecutively, like a few weeks, yeah, check in. I'm probably not doing okay. But I have learned some things that regulate me, and we're gonna talk about that part a little later. So outside of that, with the depression that I went through with both losses, both of them was very much like I can go out tomorrow and I'll be okay. Like, but it was also like I knew I had to figure out a way to go on with life. Like with my regular depression, there is no thought of I need to go on with life. There is no thought of, I feel like there's no control. It's like more of like a spiral. And I've gotten better with that as well. But like with the loss, it was just like, it took me a minute to realize like that's what it was, and to like genuinely see like, okay, this is not working. I need to go through my feelings so that I can let this go. Like, and not even let it go in the sense of like let the person go, because I don't think that'll ever happen. Like my heart still hurts for both people. Like I really say they took my heart with them. Like my grandma, I really feel like she took my heart with her when she left. It's still here. I feel it. It's beating. Obviously, I'm here, right? Yeah. But it just like every time I think about it, it just, oh, it do something to me. And that's where I feel it at. So it's like, yeah. But with the depression that comes with loss, I feel like it's more of a temporary thing. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna go through those motions. You're gonna be freaking like very down bad, babe. Take the time that you need. Heal. Do things that make you feel better. And just know that this is not gonna last forever. Like, yeah, you might always feel sad when you think about that person or the situation, but it will get easier. I can say that for sure. I literally just sat here and told you the full story of how my dad died and did not cry once. Did I want to? Yeah. Did I feel it? Yeah. Like I'm sure you can see the emotion through the screen, but like that took time. Like that took real time. I remember I couldn't even think about what happened without crying. Now with my grandma, we gotta wait a little while. Maybe on her anniversary we'll talk about that. I don't know. That's still fresh. That happened 2022. It's 2024. It's going on 2 years. It ain't even been 2 years yet. Anyway, I'm not there yet. The last stage is acceptance. The stage of learning to live with the loss and acknowledging that sorrow and joy can still be a possibility for you. And I feel like that is the most important step in the whole process, because it literally, like, honestly, not gonna hold you, and I don't know if anybody has had a similar or different experience with this, and like let me know. I'm genuinely curious. It felt like a huge weight lifted off of my shoulders, like both times. It felt like I was just so down and so deep and just in so much sorrow and grief. And soon as I accepted it and was like, okay, this happened, I need to figure out how to continue on, it was just like a huge weight just lifted. And it's like, okay, I can breathe. Like, I can live. I can do this. Will it be hard? Yes. Will I like it all the time? Probably not. I still think about both of them every single day. I still wish that I could talk to them every single day. That doesn't change. Like 5 years, it doesn't change. But it gets easier, and it gets to the point where it's like, okay, I can still be successful. I can still go after my dreams. I can still go after my goals. And just keep in mind, grief is not linear. You're gonna go through each and every stage, yes, but they can intertwine. They can go at the same time. You could skip from denial to acceptance, back to anger, to, like, you can literally go anywhere. One depends on you and how you handle your grief. It also depends on your support system, who you have around you. Like, and it also depends on your mindset. Like, How do you take death? How do you know the 5 stages? Do you know how to get through each one? Because that also matters. Like I said with my grandma, I had a lot more emotional intelligence to say, this is how I'm feeling, this is why, what are we gonna do about it? This is what we could do, the irrational and the very much operating out of your feelings, or we can go here and we can do it this way, which I think will be a better idea, because we're not built for jail, babe. Like, yeah, and you can regulate all of that. Like I said, even when I was going through my depressive state, yes, I was angry. Yes, it was still very much so I could go right now. But at the same time, it was like, okay, let's be realistic here. That's feelings talking. Let's you know, jump to real life. And in real life, we're still here. In real life, we still have a purpose. In real life, we still have shit to do. So, okay, have your emotions, feel how you feel, but at 7 in the morning, you need to get up and you need to go to work. And then when you come home, when you get off, you need to go to the gym, because we still very much care about ourselves. You need to make sure, you need to cook for yourself, make sure we're getting proper nutrients. You can have a glass of wine, you can relax, watch a little show, cry. Do whatever you have to do. Now is your time to unwind, get ready for bed, because I do all this again tomorrow. And if you need some time, take some time. You need what? You need 30 minutes, you need an hour. Sometimes I'll cry for 2 hours at a time, 3 hours, 4. On my days off, I remember one day of my days off, I cried the entire day. I cried when I was cooking. I cried when I was taking a shower. I cried doing laundry. I cried watching a random show. Like, I was like all day. And then I sat in the bed I think I got into bed at like 4. I didn't get out of the bed till the next morning when I had to go to work. And that whole time, I was crying. It's okay to feel your feelings and your emotions, but don't get stuck in them. Don't get stuck in that grieving process. You have to be so strong-minded and determined to live, because your body's going to want to shut down. Your brain is going to, yeah, I'm done. But the blessing part about our brain is it's malleable. You decide what you want to do, and your brain follows. If you want, it's like people are stuck in this limited mindset. Oh, I can't do this because of this. I can't do that because of that. Like I keep forgetting that I be making videos and not putting them out and deciding I don't want to do them anymore. So I be forgetting what I actually told y'all. But anyway, in that video, I was saying that I'm not where I want to be in life, period. I don't know if I actually did put this out. I don't know, whatever. I'm not where I want to be in life, period. But that doesn't mean I'm saying, oh, okay, I want to live in a high rise. This is just an example. I don't even know if I really want to live in one, but this is an example. I want to live in a high rise. Right now, I'm living in an apartment with my cousin. And it's not, like, it needs a lot of work in here. If you can see our ceilings and crap. Like, that doesn't mean I'm sitting here, oh, well, to live in a high rise, I need to be making 6 figures. I can't live in a high rise because I'm not making 6 figures. I can't drive this car because I'm not making this amount of money. I'm not making 6 figures. I can't look good because I can't afford a wig. I can't look good. Like, you know, like just anything that you want to do. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. That's a reflex. Relax. Anything you want to do, you cannot make excuses for. You can't. You either find a way or you make one. And it all starts with your mindset. The moment you say, this is what I want to do, this is what I need in order to do this, here's my step 1. Here's my day 1. You can have a one day, you can have a day 1 or you can have a one day. Day 1 is right now. This is what I'm doing day 1 right now in this moment to reach that goal. One day is when I get the 6 figures, then that day is when I'll do X, Y, and Z. No. Because with that mindset, you're never going to do it. Because how are you getting 6 figures if you're not working for the 6 figures? You need to think, okay, this is day 1. This is step 1. Step 1, get a higher paying job. Okay, what do you need to get a higher paying job? Do you need a degree? Do you need a certificate? Do you need a license? Look into that. Just an example, nursing. That's tiers, right? So you tier 1, let's start from the bottom. Tier 1, CNA. Tier 2, LPN. Tier 3, RN. Tier 4, maybe you have your master's. Maybe you have an extra license so you can practice in a doctor's office. Maybe you go and get your PhD. You know, like you have different tiers, and those tiers determine how much you make, correct? As an RN, you can make 6 figures. Let's say you don't have the 4 years that you know, like you have kids, you need it right now. Okay, CNA or LPN. You don't even have to do CNA. You could jump right to LPN. And now that's your step 1. Get into LPN school or get into CNA school. That's your step 1. Now you've accomplished that. Now you got in. Step 2, finish. Now you finish. Step 3, work. Get a job. Now maybe you're making half of 6 figures. Okay, you're in a better position than you were, right? And now we're another step closer to our goal. Now get into RN, a RN program. Cool, we've done that. Now we're making our 6 figures, bitch. Now whatever you want to do, the world is your oyster. And even when you were at step 1, the world is your oyster. You determine how far you're going to go. You determine how successful you're going to be. And how you determine that is your mindset. Whatever you put in your mind, whatever you believe, your brain and the universe will make your reality. It will literally go inside out. That's why drama-filled people are always around drama. Miserable people are always around miserable people. Misery loves company. Drama loves, like, that's what's in you internally. That is what your world is going to be. If you're a peaceful person, you realize you're peaceful, ain't it? Your life is real smooth, real calm. You don't partake, you don't entertain any of that. Because it's not about, and this also goes with guys. Just very random. I'm on a tangent. But whatever, it's not about what you attract, it's about what you entertain. I've had friends who literally just want to gossip all day, every day about people I don't even know, I don't even care about. That's not me. I'm not sitting around and talking about people. We can talk about a bag. We can talk about a mindset shift. We can talk about work. We can talk about fashion. We can talk about beauty. Literally anything else. Education, how to level up, what to invest in, stocks, brokes, 401ks. You know, that's conversations I like having. Things that actually matter, things that actually mean something. Me sitting around talking about somebody else, bro, I could have made a band by now. I could have went to work and clocked in. We're not talking about the same things. But just because that's what I attracted in a friend, or the kind of friend I attracted, doesn't mean that's the kind of friend I need to entertain. If it doesn't align, it doesn't align. You either try to change the conversation or change the person you having the conversation with. And then that shows your character. Like if you, like I said, it applies to guys. And this is where I feel like people really can understand it for real. If you love F-boys, whatever your version of that is, because I realize there's a lot of different versions. Whatever your version of an F-boy is, whatever he looks like, whatever he sounds like, whatever he says, his patterns, whatever. And you're like, oh, I've evolved. I've become this amazing person. Da da da. Why am I still attracting them? It's not about who you attract, babe. Are you gonna talk to the F-boy you attracted? Or are you going to talk to the educated black man that really want to treat you right, attracted? Which one? Because that's what matters. That's what shows if you really evolved or not. Now, if you go for the F-boy, you need to heal some more. Because it wasn't what you thought it was. Obviously, something's still off. Now, If you want for the educated black man that want to do you right and want to put a ring on it and, put you up in the high rise. I really might want a high rise. Why I keep saying this? Anyway, he want to do right by you. Okay, babe, congrats. You've moved up a class. So y'all understand? That's the same. Apply that same thing to life. Apply that same thing to yourself. You are what you attract. No, I'm sorry. You are what you entertain. And whatever you believe internally will be your reality. If you believe that you only attract shit dudes, you're only gonna attract shit dudes. You believe you're a horrible person, the world's gonna show you why you're horrible. If you believe life is shitty, the life will be shitty. Now, if you believe that you're a great, amazing person, the world will show you why. He will bring people in your life that matches your energy, that will tell you you're a great, amazing person, that will treat you as such. If you believe that you're a millionaire, babe, one day you're going to be a millionaire. Your whole mindset will change. I'm speaking from experience. Your whole mindset will change. Your life will look completely different. The people that come to you and the conversations you have will be completely different. I don't have the same conversations with people as I had literally a few months ago, 3 months ago. I don't have those same conversations with people. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, babe. You just won't be having the same conversations. I don't even talk to the same people I used to talk to. Once you believe in your heart of hearts one thing, your brain will make it your reality, and the universe will follow suit. Excuse me. The universe will follow suit. Keep that in mind, because this also applies to grieving and mourning. The moment I said, I need to get up, I need to stand up, I need to figure out how to live without this person in my life, was the moment everything shifted. And I was able to become the person I wanted to become. I was able to get up, uplift myself, uplift my family, and be there for the people I love. And vice versa. They were definitely there for me, because I would not have been able to do any of this without them. So that's how you overcome grief. You literally just have to choose to live. Choose life. Once you choose life, life will choose you. And healing while grieving, I feel like it also goes with growing while grieving, but we are going to make them kind of two separate things. For healing, find and do what makes you happy. Like I said, for me, it's getting dressed up. It's taking care of myself, having lashes, having clear skin, doing my hair, doing other people's hair, having money. That honestly makes me happy. So that means you gotta go to work, babe. Or make your money work for you, however. But yeah, being there for my family, having my family around me, having those deep connections with them, working out, being active, things like that, reading. Honestly, talking to y'all has started to make me happy. It really got me out of a lot of funks recently. Yeah, like, do and find, first you have to find what makes you happy and do those things, especially when you're not feeling your greatest. Like, some days I'm just so sad or so angry or so just in the throes of life, and it's like, okay, I need to go to the gym, I need to clear my head, figure out what's really going on, figure out why I'm feeling how I'm feeling, or even I need to be around family, figure out what's going on, why I'm feeling how I'm feeling. Like, literally yesterday, that's how I felt. Like, I just woke up and I just was not all the way here. And I'm like, I don't know what the heck. Like, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but like, I'm just not, like, mental capacity, emotional capacity. I was just like in a funk. Like, I just wasn't feeling 100% myself. And I was just super sad, bro. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why am I feeling this way? get around my family. First I'm quiet because, like, you know, you still feeling how you feeling. Like, you gotta, like, warm up to the energy around you. And then, like, nobody really asked me. Well, my mom asked me, like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's going on? My stepdad, I have another stepdad now. He asked me, like, are you okay? What's going on? Whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm fine. Because, like, I don't really know what's going on to tell you what's going on. So it's just like, yeah, I'm fine, whatever. Wine break. And, like, they left me alone. They know, because my family definitely knows, like, I'm a verbal person. I'm gonna let you know what's wrong with me when I decide, like, when I figure out what's wrong with me. But now I can't tell you because I don't know. And, like, they know, like, when I'm ready, I'll say it and whatever. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling myself. After a while, like, I start laughing, you know, being around everybody, whatever. And then I look at my phone, and I have, like, his day on my calendar. And then I have the calendar on my home screen. So it shows me, like, what I need to do, like, for today, tomorrow, and then the next day. And for tomorrow, which is today, it was his anniversary, and I was just like, that makes a lot of sense. And it's like, at that point I didn't say anything because it definitely doesn't affect just me, and I don't want to, you know, damper anybody else's mood. So I was just like, okay, now I know what's wrong. I'm okay. Like, I can continue on my day. You know, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna feel how I feel, but I can handle that when I get home. And yeah, I got home. I did my hair. I did make a video, but like I said, I don't think I'm going to put that one out. I was just very much everywhere. My head was very full, so it wasn't the best. I feel like it was how I be everywhere here. Way worse. Way worse. And I actually had something to talk about. It just did not come across. It didn't come out like how I would have hoped it did. Like, I listened to it back and I was like, girl, no. We're gonna do this over another day because right now it's not working. But, like, before I went home, I had a great conversation with my mom that helped me. And that was just about life, things that I'm going through now. It had nothing to do with the day, but it was just like, okay, like, I can, you know, it gave me more clarity. And that's also something that makes me happy, like, having those deep conversations and allowing, I feel like that builds connection, that builds, you know, trust within a person. And although, like, yeah, I trust my mom, but it's like, I don't know, we've having conversations and I'll be like, girl, this is why I come to you. It just reaffirms it. So yeah, no one makes you happy doing what makes you happy. Going to therapy, a lot of us people, yeah, we don't believe in therapy, or it's like, oh, or religious people as well don't believe in therapy. And I grew up in both. I grew up in the church and I'm brown. Bro, I've not been in and out of therapy my entire life, but it's so frowned upon. I don't understand it. Like, it's not a freaking disease. Like, it's literally to help you. Granted, if you find the wrong one, then yeah. I was telling my mom about a situation where my therapist was not great for me. We could talk about that another day. Yeah, I haven't even reached out to another one. Like, it takes a lot for me to even decide to open up to anybody, especially if I don't know you. And then with that one, it was just like, ma'am, I feel like I'm gonna traumatize you. We're just gonna leave it alone. We're just gonna leave it alone. But yeah, going to therapy, finding a good therapist. I really do believe they need to be a Christian-based therapist if you are into spirituality and Christianity and all of that. And no matter who you believe in, 'cause I know people have different beliefs, like, you know, but they need to align with what you believe in, because then I feel like you're getting that holistic approach. It's not just going to be, and it's somebody who's been through stuff, somebody who actually knows, like, what they're talking about from experience. Like, it'll be, okay, I'm getting your experience, I'm getting your wisdom, I'm getting your spirituality. Like, it can touch you on different levels, rather than just somebody who just has a degree and don't know nothing about nothing. How are you helping me? Like, And not to say they can't, but I do believe experience breeds wisdom, experience breeds intelligence, and experience breeds help, proper help. They breed a good therapist, a good that's like a good preacher. Like, can I say, like, oh, I don't want a preacher who hasn't been through nothing? Yeah, because how you gonna tell me I can't sin if you ain't never sinned and learn from it and realize that God is really a healer, and realize that God will still accept you for you, and realize that God will wipe you clean of your sins? Like, you can't tell me that because you ain't never did it. I'm not gonna believe you, you freaking imposter, you poser. Who are you? You can't tell me nothing. Like, and that's really how people be thinking. Like, that's not my belief personally, but you know, I probably won't listen to you, but I never had to experience that. And God, healing with God, OMG. Like, when I tell you it's better than any therapist, in my personal experience, better than any therapist, you're not depending on another person. And yes, I have issues with depending on people, but like, outside of that, bro, I don't have to wait for my session on Thursday at 3 p.m. I can come to you now, right now, while I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling. I can talk to you. I can ask you to help me. I can ask you for comfort. I can ask you for clarity. I can ask you for literally whatever I need, and I get it instantaneously. And if it's not instant, it's directly on time. Like, that I feel like is way beyond anything. And if you read the Bible, people go through everything that we're going through in life. Millions of people, not millions, people in the Bible, the stories that they tell are about a lot of the things that we go through. And it literally tells you how to get through them. It literally walks with you through the process and tells you, yo, whoever, I forget that lady's name, she was a Jezebel. She was a whore. And God came through and saved her, and now she's doing this and that, and you think this prostitute can't tell you about God? You better wise up. God will use anybody. That's what the Bible showed me. But no, on a serious note, like, God definitely, he's definitely a rock. Definitely somebody you can count on at any time. So if you are spiritual, lean into that, especially if you're going through a grieving process, no matter who it is in your life, even if it's a friendship. I've grieved friendships, breakups. Those are all grief. They all go with the 5 stages. It doesn't just have to be, oh, you lost somebody. You lost that person too. And regardless of if you can still talk to them, regardless of if it ended good or bad, you still lost that person. So still take that time to grieve. And honestly, in those instances, I would just say, like, ask God for true clarity, like if they should be in your life or if they shouldn't. And also be very careful what you ask God for. If you asking God to reveal some stuff to you, be careful and set clear standards and guidelines. Because I asked that and I saw something I was not ready for. That could be another video if y'all let me know. But yeah, I was not ready for that whatsoever. So, and it traumatized me, and I still be thinking about it and getting scared because, oh my goodness, I play too much. But no, I'm being so serious. Like, the way I said it, I was playing, but like I'm being very serious. So for growing while grieving, just remember your goals if you made them prior to this happening, and or if you didn't, then make some goals. Like, that could be a reason to live. Like, okay, this happened. Let me give you an example. So I'm gonna keep it light and not do like a death, but like I'm gonna do like a breakup or like losing a friend or something. So let's say let's say like you and this guy have been, y'all were boyfriend and girlfriend, planning to get married, build a whole life, all of that, and you guys ended up splitting up. And obviously this is never going to happen. You need to grieve that life and start a new one. you've gone through the process, or maybe you're still in the process. Honestly, like, make a goal. If your goal is to buy a house, again, make your steps. This is step one that I need to do. This is the goal. This is step one. This is step two. Everything like that. Like, break it down and go after that. And it will take your mind off of the situation and what happened, but it also gives you a reason to keep going. Like, it's not always bad. That's why I say it's not always bad to distract yourself. Now, if you're distracting yourself and not dealing with your feelings, yes, that can be very bad. It can be very detrimental. That could come out in the worst ways. Especially if you like going out and partying and all of that. Like, you could start, like, you already kind of out of your body when you drink and smoke and all of that. So it's like, if you're already going through something, obviously you're going to take that a little to the extreme. Like, you might drink a little more than usual, and now you're fighting people. You might smoke a little more than usual, and, like, you know, slack off and lose your job. Like, you know, like, this little things like that can be very huge when you're going through something. And that's also something I know from experience. Like, I definitely was a person who relied on outside sources to fill me and make me happy and comfort me. And those sources was alcohol, was drugs, like, not no heavy stuff, but, like, it's legal now. I'm gonna say that. But I definitely also realized the flip side of that, the part that kind of gets scary, like the part that's like, all right, I'm taking this a little too far. Like, let me reel this back in. And, like, you also have to have self-awareness to know, like, okay, this is not who I am. This is not my core. This is obviously something I'm going through. And it's okay to go through that, yes. But it's not okay to be a crappy person because of it. It's not okay to ruin your life and be self-destructive, self-sabotaging because of it. You need to get up. You need to do what you got to do and continue to live healthy and holy and with intention. And you distracting yourself with a goal and giving yourself a purpose, a reason to live, something to work for, that is going to allow you to be more intentional with your life. If you're trying to get a house, you can't be going out every weekend. You can't be drinking every weekend, because you might have to get up early. You might have some stuff that you need to, you do got some stuff that you need to get done. And maybe that requires more of your time, more of your energy, more of your effort. Maybe that requires more of sober you, more of a you that can get things done and effectively, because you can't play around. You gotta have all your ducks in order when you get in the house, especially if you're getting alone. So maybe a goal can be very great. I know one of my goals when I didn't really make goals when my dad died. I wasn't that emotionally intelligent to kind of know what to do to help me. But when my grandma passed, it was like I had a goal for my goal was honestly to live. I didn't have like a direct goal. Like, I have goals now. Like, now that I've like accepted and like I actually make the choice to live every day. Now I have goals, but in that time I didn't have goals, and I could definitely see the difference. Like, then I was really just living. Like, it was just, I was doing anything. I was blowing my money. I didn't care about the person I was showing up as. I didn't care about the things I was doing. I was going out every weekend. I was drinking a lot. Like, yeah, I still held a job. I still made sure I paid my bills, all of that. Like, I still made sure like basic necessities was taken care of. But as far as like prioritizing my family, I wasn't doing that. As far as prioritizing myself, like, yeah, I was making sure I showed up as like a put together person, but I wasn't taking care of my body. And I was going to the gym, cool, but like, it's also a little more than just going to the gym. It's what you put in your body, food and alcohol. Like, I wasn't drinking enough water. Like, my skin wasn't as clear as it is now. It wasn't as bright as it is now. Like, you could definitely see a difference in how I carried myself, how I spoke, how I looked. Like, it wasn't until, honestly, when we had her her 1 year anniversary, we had like a big we had a memorial. When we had that, and then her birthday, and that made it like, that was like, ooh. That was when I actually was like, okay, I'm not who my grandma would want me to be. I'm not who my dad would want me to be. I don't know who I am right now. But we need to get this together. And that was when it was like, okay, goal number 1. Become the person I want to become. Become the person people can be proud of. And then my mom was telling me, okay, I see like this is happening, that's happening. You're not who you are. You're not showing up as who I know you are. And you're also not prioritizing your family. Like, we did just lose your grandma. Like, I don't want to lose you too. Real conversation. And it was like, okay, dang, like, all right, let me really get myself together. Like, and then goal number 2, spend time with my family, spend more time with my family, prioritize them. And then it kind of just kept going from there. Like, the goals kind of came from those experiences and me really understanding who it is that I wanted to be, what it is that I wanted to do, and what's important to me, what makes me happy, what motivates me, what keeps me going. And then it kind of just, my goals aligned with that. And then it's like, I did have a goal that I've been was trying to do. So it's like, all right, like, let's get that in motion too. So it doesn't have to be linear in a sense of like, this happened, that happened, da 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 da, like, you know, like, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. Like, if you don't know, it's genuinely okay to not know. But think about, if it's a loss, think about who that person would have wanted you to be and how they would have wanted you to show up in your life. And if you don't know that, think about how they showed up in others' lives. Think about how they showed up in your life, who they were to you. My grandma was always there for everybody. Family was her priority. Family was her life. My dad, family was his life. He loved the people he loved. He loved the people who loved him. He was a great person. So it's like, think about those people and how they operated, how they moved, and try to mimic that in hopes that it will bring you to who you are meant to be. Because somewhere in your core, you love them because of that. You love them for a reason. Tap into that. The depth of grief comes from the depth of love. Sometimes we think okay, I love them so much, it hurts so bad. Yes, babe. That's because you love them so much. And it's okay. And it's okay to feel how you feel, yes. Like, let those emotions out. But if it starts to be too much and you feel yourself sinking, think about how much you love them. Don't think about what you lost from their passing. Think about what you gained from their existence. Think about how they were there for you, how they made you feel in certain situations, how they loved you. And then start to show up as that person. Because the same way you have to love yourself, the same way you love how others love you, if that makes sense. So like my grandma was always there for me, no matter what she was going through, no matter if she cared or not, like, no matter if she could give me advice or not, no matter what, it didn't matter who was around, she would stop everything. Nah, go ahead, like, I need to sit with her real quick, like, you know, like, she took the time to be with me. She made the effort, the intention to sit with me, to make sure that her people was okay. That's what I loved about her. She prioritized people. She prioritized feelings. And I love the fact that I was able to experience that. I was able to be a part of that. I was able to feel her love deep. A little chaotic, but deep. When she loved you, she was a ride or die. Like, she was there for everything. She wanted to be there for everything. And since I love the way she loved me, I have to love myself that same way. So if thinking about their death is too much, think about their love. Think about the legacy they left. And I do understand that there are some different relationships. Maybe they weren't the best to you. Think about the good times. Because even if people are bad to you, you've had good times. I know that from experience. That marriage, yes, it was a lot of bad, but it was also a lot of good. So think about the good times. Even if you had like a hard upbringing, maybe you grew up in abuse, and that person, your abuser, passed away. Maybe it was one of your maybe one of your parents, and they have now passed away. Think about maybe one day they took you for ice cream. They were having a great day, took you for ice cream. You guys were out all day, and you had the best time. You got home, they made you an amazing dinner, but that's the only good experience you have. Every other day out of the 365 plus days was shitty. Think about that one day. And think about how that one day made you feel. And focus on that one day. You don't need to go into, oh, but I wish it was like that every day. And you don't need to do any of that. Think about that one day, how that day made you feel. And focus on that. Hone in on that. Keep that. Hold on to that. Until you have good days in your present. Until you can wake up and truly say that you had an amazing day. Maybe try to recreate those moments. Take yourself out to the ice cream parlor. Make yourself a nice dinner. And think about how you felt at that day when it happened with that person. And if it's a breakup or a friend relationship, don't try to mess that with another person. That whole only way to get over him is to get under someone else. No, babe, you're still gonna think about that man. Heal, please, and thank you. But if it's one of those, then still do the same thing. Think about how they made you feel. This does need to be good and bad, because you need to determine if you want this person in your life or not moving forward. Because 9 times out of 10 they come back, and you need to be able to have your feelings together enough to say, this is what I deserve, or this is what I don't deserve. Yes, maybe they just made a simple mistake and you feel that you can take them back. But now if that mistake goes against your morals, your standards, your values, and your non-negotiables, absolutely not. They should not be taken back whatsoever. Now, if it doesn't, and you feel like you feel like if they come back, you guys can make it work, and maybe it's stipulations. Maybe it's you can make it work if they apologize, or if they do this, or if they change that. If they come back and they haven't done it, do not take them back. Now, if they come back and they've changed, they apologize, they're ready to be a great person to you, then you can make that decision of if that's what you want or not. But you do need to heal and see the pros and cons of that relationship. Whether you need to write it down, whatever. You need to see what you will and will not tolerate, both in a relationship as well as in a friendship, and then go from there. That also is not linear. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be upset. You're going to be angry. You might even be depressed. Like, I feel like friend relationships are worse than actual relationships, at least for me, because I do hold my friends very close. But it still has to be that conversation within yourself to say, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do. Maybe we can be friends again, or be together again, or maybe we can't. And either way, you have to be fine with both, because it has to be you at the end of the day. You have to choose yourself. And then also, if let's say you say, oh, we're never getting back together, but you're still grieving, you're still mourning that relationship. Okay, that's fine, babe, but take your time. And also think about the things that make you happy. Think about, like, we're going to go through the same process. Things that make you happy. Think about the good times. And the goals you have, how to continue with life outside of this person. Because although they're not dead, they still are not in your life anymore. You still, maybe like I said, maybe it's where you were in a relationship and you guys had all these plans. Maybe you were moving in together, or you did move in together. Now you have to find a life without that person. You have to live a life without that person and without those plans. with that person. Maybe you'll have those plans with somebody else, but that's also not going to be right away. I would hope not. So all in all, you just need to figure out and do what makes you happy. Maybe if you want to go to therapy, I do suggest it, especially if you're in that limbo to where it's like you're going through all these emotions, you don't know how to regulate it, you don't know how to move on, because that can be very scary. It can get very bad, very dark. And if you also have like a great support system, lean on them. I wouldn't say put every little thing on them. Like, definitely be mindful of what you share with them, only because especially if it's like the loss of a family member, they're going through it as well. So you don't want to put too much on somebody that they can't handle. And also just that in general, like, you don't know anybody else's capacity, you don't know anybody else's mindset when it comes to certain things. Like, I also realized that growing up, like, I would go to my mom with everything, and it's like something she just wasn't equipped to handle, like something it was just too much for her. And then now we have a separate situation to where, like, she's going through it because I have traumatized her, or I have put her, like, I trauma dumped. And it's like, okay, I probably shouldn't have done that, because now her mental health is at stake. So I would say, as far as the support system, your friends, your family, lean on them, but don't put everything on them. So lean on them. Do you guys want to go out to eat, to the movies, like, just things, activities. Even if it's just sitting in a house together and watching a movie, even if it's just communing together, even if it's potluck, like everybody comes to one house and we cook. Like, we do that at my mom's every Sunday, and then we'll watch TV, watch movies, whatever. And most times, if I'm not feeling good, by the time I leave, I feel great, and I haven't expressed not a word to them of what I'm feeling or why I'm feeling it. It's just the belonging, it's just the love being around you. So not all the time do you need to let people in per se, but it is great to have a support system. It is great to have people that love you around you, especially when you're going through a grieving process, a mourning process, whether it's a friend, family member, boyfriend, husband, whatever. And finding your goals to continue with life, finding a spiritual outlet, finding an emotional outlet, which I believe will be therapy. And also finding a physical outlet. I realized the gym, OMG, best therapy ever. And I don't even talk to anybody about anything. I literally just go in, head full of clouds, come out, I'm feeling great, head is clear. I can clearly say what's wrong and how I can move forward. If it's about like work, okay, I'm fine now. Like, I've let that stress out. Like, it definitely helps. And even if you're not going to the gym for like weights or anything, you do calisthenics, which is just your body weight. You can go running, you can go jogging, you can go walking, like just anything that gets your blood flowing, just so you can have movement. Let me end this because I'm getting tired. Just so you can have movement, and you can, like, it creates blood flow, gets the juices flowing, get the brain clearer. Yeah, you can think. It takes you out of your emotional state and allows you to just live. Like, it literally feels like a release. Yeah. It is an endorphin release as well, especially when you hit, like, they call like your runner's peak. Yeah, that applies to workouts too. It applies to lifting weights too. So just be mindful of that. I hope this video helps at least one person. I'm fine with if it's just one person that it helps. Again, today is the 16th, Monday, but you guys probably won't be getting it until next Monday or next Tuesday. I believe it's the 23rd, 24th. But either way, I do hope that this has reached somebody. I hope that you were able to get something out of it, and I wasn't all over the place. Yeah, so let me know if there's any videos that you guys want to see. I know I say this every video, but let me know if there's anything specific that you guys want to see. Let me know if there's anything specific that you guys want to talk about. I am thinking about having a guest on the I would say the show. Foresight, I don't know, but I am thinking about having a guest on the channel. One of my friends, she's a great friend. I really love her. Like, she gave me feedback and everything on my first video, and I was just like, yeah. And she has a lot to talk about. Like, our conversations be great, so, and be juicy. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So I hope that the video was easy to follow. I hope that I can touch at least one person and help at least one person with their grieving process, and with mourning and losing someone and finding out how to live without that person, especially if they're a very significant person in your life. Yeah, that's all I got. Sorry for all the goodness. But comment, subscribe, like, share, and I'll see you next time.